Hello, Renee Flamont here. This topic is something with which we all grapple. We're all getting older, and I'm here to say I 1,000 million gazillion percent want to get older. You know, I'm all about perspective. When I hear people say, I don't want to get older, I don't like getting older, I don't want to, I'm flabbergasted at that, because think that through to its final conclusion. There's a reason that we see Marilyn Monroe in a certain way. There's a reason we see Princess Diana at a certain age. They didn't get older. There's only one way to not age. There's only one way to not get older. Only one. There's no magic beans. There's nothing. There's only one way. So when you say, I want you to watch your words, I want you to watch your mindset, I feel very strongly about this because I hear it all the time. I hate getting older. I don't want to get older. I wish I could. Okay, well, you can't reverse time. And you can't stop time. Well, you can. And wouldn't that be a tragedy if you didn't get older? Getting older is the whole point. Health and happiness till 100 years. That's my prayer for everybody, and I say it out loud. Health and happiness for 100 years, natural order of death. That would be my wish. Okay? We can all accept that. I think that's a nice life. Health and happiness for 100 years, natural order of death. If you had to, pick something that would be the best scenario, I think that says it. Well, that involves getting older. It's just fascinating to me. I don't want to get older. You don't? Are you sure? Be quiet, because people are like, be careful what you wish for. You can make a funny movie about that. I wish I weren't older or didn't get older. Boom. They get their wish. Like George Bailey. I wish I would never be. Maybe it was better if I was never born. And boom, Clarence comes along and he's never born. Imagine. So be careful what you wish for. You don't want to get older. Of course you want to get older. Now, what our mindset has to do is adjust, I think, our expectations from ourselves in order to be more equipped to accept what happens to ourselves as we age. And that's a perspective shift as well. And I got a lot to say on it. I got a lot to say about everything. But this is inside versus outside. You can be concerned about both. But your health, your appearance, your effervescence, your energy as we all age, that has 95% to do with what's happening on the inside of you. Hands down, anyone will tell you. What you're putting into your body, how you're treating your body, are you resting, you know what I mean? It's a lot to do with everything. But on the outside, I remember when I was younger, and for years I did this. If I needed to feel better about myself, I would walk around and I would say, tanner, thinner, blonder, tanner, thinner, blonder, tanner, thinner, blonder. And I knew that if I made myself those three things, I would feel better, right? Because when you're in your 30s or 40s, that's what you think, tanner, thinner, blonder. Not anymore. We're all getting older, not younger, and we all have our concerns. Yes, okay, fine. But when I think of how much of our youth is spent worrying about getting it going in this department, our physical appearance, tanner, thinner, blonder, I would say to myself. I wasn't ignoring the inside. I was always working on that in another capacity, spiritual growth, being healthy, blah, 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 blah. But appearance-wise, I felt if I could do those three things, tanner, thinner, blonder, I'd feel better. Which Doesn't always work, does it? You can get there and feel just the same as you did when you weren't tanner, thinner, or blonder. But we want to be in what we think or perceive. Now I'm doing the opposite, which I'll get to in a minute. We want to be in the best state of ourselves, what we perceive to be the best state of ourselves. Tanner, thinner, blonder, whatever you told yourself, okay? Especially when you go back out into the dating world, if there are any of you that would be in and out of being single and having a relationship and divorced a long time like you're going to be in and out of the dating world, right? But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld. That's Prince. I can't say, but I'm here to tell you without hearing that from the Purple Rain album. But the point where you realize that the part of concentrating on your physical look should not at all take center stage is beyond empowering. And it's just recently happened to me. So, for example, okay, so right now I'm not in the best shape, right? Physically, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm still down like the 20-pound gainage from the picture I discussed in Love Your Butt that I had in my late 40s. So that's good. But in shape, I could do better. I absolutely could do better. So I'm on the phone with my brother the other day, and he lives on the beach, and he's all, when you come, we'll do this, we'll go out on the boat. You'll get into your bikini shape or bathing suit shape or whatever, and be ready, and you can meet someone, Renee, and and all this. He's being charming and funny and supportive and all this. Now, my brother is small too, and we've both pretty much maintained an interest, same level, at least remaining small, remaining somewhat fit, even if we don't work out regularly. Neither one of us. I'd say we're about even in that department. So normally I would agree with him. But this time I said, with thought, I said, no, you know what, baby brother? No. He goes, what? He's like, what? And I normally would be like, oh, we're going to go tanner, thinner, blonder, tanner, thinner, blonder. And I explained to him, though, that I've had this mind shift, that although, yes, I'd like to work on some things because I'd like to be stronger, healthier. I mentioned I kind of would love once in my life to achieve like an athletic, like a strong looking frame. You know what I mean? But I'm not going full gangbusters in getting in optimal shape because to meet someone. It's a goal a lot of us have in mind when we go, I'm going to just use tanner, thinner, blonder, whatever chant you say, getting into a physical shape for a second. You're thinking because I want to meet someone. No. I've been doing that for years, and obviously that never worked because I'm still not with anyone. So that doesn't matter if you get there. And the other thing I started to think of is, I don't think I'm attracting the right kind of people if I'm making myself things that I'm not normally. Do you know what I mean? I'll get to that in a second too. But what I was going to say is, I'm 54. I'm not 24. So I went on to say to my brother, this is what I look like. This is what I look like. So whoever I meet needs to like this girl. I want someone who likes me now as I am. Or if I get into better shape, they like that too. Or if I grow out of it again, they like that person too. We all ebb, we flow in and out of our best shapes, right? Unless you're one of those workout people who look great all the time. And that takes an exorbitant amount of discipline. They deserve to look like that all the time. It's hard work. But I'm not wanting anyone who likes me for just that. I just don't. I don't even want to attract that kind of person who values that so much. Who values somebody as being in top physical form. I don't even want to attract that kind of person. Isn't that weird? I'm like ultra sensitive to it. I'm ultra sensitive to everything post-narcissist. When you date a narcissist, you become ultra aware of to be on the lookout for them liking you for the wrong reason. So I'm where, like, even I could get into gymnastics type shape, which they have the best bodies, those little gymnasts. I wouldn't want anyone liking me for that reason either. Like, if I were in great shape, I just don't. My brother didn't respond with much because he's a guy. He's not really thinking of all of the self-evolution I'm going through up here with this epiphany on the phone with him. But I meant every single word. It can happen as you age. You know, this Pam and Tommy series is on now. Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee. Younger people, you may have to look them up, but we older people remember. He was so taken by her beauty. And that's fine. It's the case with anyone. We get attracted to them physically or not. You get an attraction physically, of course. But I don't think you have to be tan or thin or blonde or top shape of your life looking the best ever that you've ever looked ever to meet someone. I don't think it's the case with everyone that you're going to go through life and always maintain that. So I want someone who sees me. It's important that I'm not chasing tan or thin or blonder, or again, whatever your chant is, because I think it makes me feel better about myself. Those three things would make me feel better about myself, but they didn't really. Put highlights in, lose weight, get a tan. You think it's instantly going to make you feel better? It did nothing. Nothing. If you young people are listening, I am telling you, I am sitting here before you to tell you, I've been doing this kind of thing for 35 years. More than that. We women start when we're teenagers worrying about what we look like. For me, I was 9 years old. That's a young age to already be worried about that, about your physical. So I've made a determination that I'm releasing that. Now, it's funny because I went from tan or thinner blonder to now I'm no tan because spots at the dermatologist because I'm 54. Perhaps a few pounds down because certain clothes would fit better, which I think that never goes away if you're a woman. You always think there's another 5 pounds, right? And instead of blonder in my tan or thinner blonder, right now I want to see the color God gave me. So I cut off any and all of the little white pieces that you used to be able to see of blonde. When I put blonde in, it's always obvious. This is my hair after it's been in the sun. But this dark that's growing in that you guys see, that's my color. And I'm turning 55. And I just wanted to get off anything off me that's false. Again, this is because this ends up in the sun. But this dark, I just want to see it and take inventory of myself. I can see the grays. I've never colored my hair. When I color it, it's obvious. I grab 8 or 10 pieces and I make them white blonde against this. So, and then I wash them out so they don't carry through. But I don't want to do anything right now. So the grays are in there. It's all brown. And the grays are more clear now that it is the brown. And I'll do highlights again. I will. You'll see. But right now, turning 55, I want to boil my look down to its natural state and take inventory of myself. I tend to do this kind of thing. I did it when I was turning 50. So the whole year that I was 49, I made changes. I deleted problematic people. And this all has to do with getting older. You have to take inventory of your life periodically to clean things out. So when I was turning 49, I spent time with really good people. I started to reconnect and spend more time. I deleted problematic people. I cultivated around me the energy that I wanted. I was on 2 prescriptions and got them. I stopped them both. Birth control, which I had been on for decades because it regulates everything, but I stopped that, and I was on Zoloft, and I stopped that. And I'm still on nothing. I wanted to see turning 50 what my body felt like with nothing in it. to take inventory of my inner self and how I felt and everything. So to this day, I dig that I'm not on any prescription medications. So the same here, approaching 55. I just want to see. So to want to improve yourself as you age or keep up with things as you age, that is perfectly fine. But to chase tanner, thinner, blonder, again, think of your own 3 words, might be something that you shouldn't be doing. I was doing that for a long time and none of it made me feel better. It didn't work. It created a lot more effort. I did damage to my skin by going into a tanning bed. Right? That's what you're doing. If you're tanner, thinner, blonder, if you're on one of the, you're like going to a tanning bed, you're trying to lose weight, you're putting highlights in your hair, putting more highlights in your tanner, thinner, blonder. Rather than embrace and I was the person that was late to highlights. I was like in my 30s before I ever even did anything like that. So, and it was just like I said, some pieces here and there, and then you go crazy and you go too much, and then you got to cut it out and all this. But I don't think it's something we should chase. I think that we should embrace who we are and know that definitely not to do it for anyone other than yourself. That is a whole other thing. That's the really more important thing here, is I think that we go outside of ourselves. And again, especially if you're dating a narcissist, which is what we normally talk about on this channel, you knock yourself out to be tanner, thinner, blonder. Insert your phrase here. Whatever your narcissist likes to see you in, whatever they like to see you, the shape, whatever if they like long nails, if they like you having a tan, if they like you having, you're going to chase. Why? That absolutely doesn't matter. If someone likes you or is attracted to you or loves you, and again, this is not about you can let yourself go. That's not what I'm talking about. You want to keep yourself up for yourself, for your own psyche. I think that's vital. I do. I think that's vital. But the tanner, thinner, blonder, that quick chant, I thought I'd feel better. Well, I think it's important to talk about more. I didn't always feel better. It never paved the way to the end all and finding happiness. It didn't lead me anywhere that was magic. And also none of what I was chasing mattered one bit. Because if I did meet someone who liked me because I was tanner, thinner, blonder, which I guess that happened, that was my pattern, right? Tanner, thinner, blonder, meet someone, break up. Tanner, thinner, blonder, meet someone, break, right? What if I wasted all that time because being tanner, thinner, blonder was attracting the guy that I wasn't going to end up with, was attracting the wrong kind of person, was putting out an image that wasn't really me, was making someone interested in me that I don't want interested in me. I don't want someone liking me for those reasons. That's not the guy I want. And I didn't realize it till I was on the phone with my brother at this age. Because my instinct went to say, tanner, thinner, blonder. We're going to be on a boat. And I was like, all in a millisecond. And I said, no, you know what? I'll be in whatever shape I'm in. I'm perfectly fine with whatever. I'm happy with myself. I'm 54. And I might not look 24, but I'm okay with that. And I think that the person who meets me, who likes me here and with my thoughts, I don't want someone liking me because I'm tanner, thinner, and blonder. And you shouldn't want someone liking you for that reason. Well, Renee, I want to attract someone who's cute, or, maybe I'm into fitness. I'm not, you'll automatically, that shows through clothing. Okay? You don't have to get tanner and blonder and get thick. You're a health nut, you're going to attract another one. You don't have to get tanner and thinner and blonder or whatever, again, your phrase is, to do that. You want someone. We all have in common, what we all have in common is that we all have insecurities with ourselves. You want to meet someone that, even if they notice what you don't like about yourself, and it is a real thing and not just in your head, they like you anyway. They like you anyway. It's not that you don't want them to not see the flaw. I don't want to meet somebody with when I'm pale. I don't want to meet somebody if I don't have enough highlights in my hair. I don't want to meet somebody if I'm not thin enough. Guess what? This is me right now. This is me. I'm aging, which is what my wish is. I want to age because I don't like the alternative. Health and happiness for 100 years. Well, that's going to put miles on a person. 54 is not 24. 74 is not 54. And we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to look like other things that aren't us, to look like ages that aren't us, to look like nationalities that aren't us, to look like other colors. How much damage have I done to my skin trying to make it dark? I'll do a perm every once in a while. And right now I'm trying to grow all that out as well. And you'll see me. I'll show up with hair up to here, tight perm, boom. Boom. Huge hair. My daughter once grabbed me when I was younger, and that was part of tanner, thinner, blonder years, right? I'd put highlights in. It would be like this big, crazy. I love it. It's my favorite. I'll definitely do it again one day in my life. But my daughter would grab my wrist out of the mouth, and she'd go, you know, Small, you're not black. Because it was like an afro. And she meant, like, in other words, I was chasing hair that I'm not going to have that hair. That they all hate and complain about and try to straighten. I love it. The bigger the better, the huge, big, crazy, wild hair. I think it's awesome. I'm never going to have that. And if I do that look, it stays there until my hair starts to grow out. So it was chasing something that I don't have. And I'm not saying you can't do something to your hair and I will again. Of course I will. Absolutely. We all do. But you should also be able to embrace exactly what you look like, you. Right? How do you say, your fighting weight? Okay, your fighting shape, right? My fighting shape I'd call, all right. But it's not that of a workout maniac. So I wasn't going to be like, no, I'm not going to go out onto the boat until I have time to da-da-da-da-da. I'll go right now. This is what I look like. It was a very empowering moment. I just released everything and I felt zero pressure. Now, how that's going to work out in my life, I have no idea. Because I am not in the best shape of my life. Wouldn't it be interesting if then you have a meeting of the minds and you meet someone who just likes you? Remember back in high school? You knew somebody a year before they even told you that they liked you, and they didn't know like what you looked like under your clothes. They didn't know. They just knew you, talking to you in high school, seeing you every day, fully clothed. People, it's like they're with their, showing their bodies on the line and in the pictures and all this, and everyone needs to see what everyone looks like right away. And there's something to be said for privacy. You don't have to move that fast with someone. You want to take time to improve yourself a little bit for your own psyche so that you're comfortable maybe if you do have to go out on a boat or that is health. That's health. But do not let the vanity and the pride that people can become overwhelmed with stop you from living or doing anything. You present yourself exactly to the world the way that you are. At your fighting stance. Where you not fighting. No, that's your best, right? I'm sorry. Fighting weight is your best. At your regular place, I guess is what I mean. See, I don't know with the sport. Some of you might know the word I mean. But it's like where you live. Where you reside. I want, right now, as I'm approaching 55, I want to live where I reside. Natural hair color, I'm in okay shape, not great. I'm going to be working on it right now. I'm doing that right now, and I hope that that helps me feel stronger and healthier. But I by no means, I don't want any young people to ever feel that their version of tanner, thinner, blonder is what they need to experience and spend all of that effort and all of that energy and all of those years and all of that concern over something that really, in the end, means nothing, gets you nowhere, and didn't do a thing for my positive outlook. Because I'm actually landing on my most positive outlook when I'm, instead of tanner, thinner, blonder, I'm darker, regular, and more pale. Tanner, thinner, blonder. Excuse me. So I'm more pale, regular, and dark. I'm the opposite, kind of, like, on two of them. And I feel better than I have before. I feel like I'm presenting myself as I want, as I am. I want someone to see me for who I am. I know it's very, very connected for me, everything. Body, mind, physical appearance, and it's all empowerment. And if you can get to the point that you also see your value and yourself the way you stand, the way you are, as just fine, it's a beautiful template from which you can then, if you want, like I said, I'm all for self-improvement in any way, physical, mind, body, so everything. But you got to be happy where you are now. Your starting point is just fine. Look at yourself and say the good things about you. And if you want to make changes, then go right ahead. But don't do it for somebody else. Don't do it to meet somebody else. And don't do it because you think you're not going to age or that you don't want to age. We have to age. Mathematically. You okay there, baby doll? Minnie's coughing up a storm over here. We have to age. There's no way around it, and you don't want the alternative. So watch when that sentence goes to slip out that you don't want to age. It's a very interconnected topic. It has a lot to do with image again, and your insides matching your outsides. I want you all to be as happy inside with yourself, and I want you to see a version reflected back at you that represents your authentic self. Has nothing to do with being tanner, thinner, or blonder. I just thought I'd mention that. I love our Off-Topic Fridays. I'm glad you're watching. Thank you for that. Please go ahead and sub, like, and share, and I will see you next time.